Well, it's July the 26th. We got forest fires all over the place. Smoke, smoke, smoke. Hot weather. It's going to go up to about 98 or 100 in the next couple of days again. And no rain. No rain. This is July the 26th, and we really haven't had a rain since about the 5th of March. We had a couple of sprinkles, that's all. Didn't do a thing. So now it is so bone dry that, oh man. Yes, I think it's time to ask God to send some rain. It's, it's really needed. He controls the weather. That's who you should ask. Yeah, and there's going to be more and more things happening in this world that are, well, weather related, a lot of it, and the weather related part will develop into everything from famine to forest fires and all kinds of problems. And when you get enough drought, you have a big problem. And we might have a lot of lakes and stuff like that, but pretty hard to get that water out on a field or something, or into somebody's home. It's, I guess you could go and get buckets or pails or bottles or whatever yourself, but the business of the way things are going, I just, uh, the I think it's making it so that some people, not all people, because most people do not take a regard to this at all as a sign of anything. Just ignore it, and they're getting. I mean, the things they're doing is not just weather and feminism and homosexuality and that. Not just that. That's a big part of it, but it's this business of trying to make everything that people have considered to be the right thing to do and a good thing to do, and making it that it is evil, and all the things that were considered evil, they're trying to make it good. I mean, they come up and say things like, it's godly or something to have an abortion. How ridiculous is that? You know, that's satanic talk. That's all that is. But I can tell people are going to get more and more reluctant to admit that that they are a Christian or something, because that's going to be something that they're going to practically ban. You know, it's going to get to that. They've said it'll happen like that, and they'll make it so. They just about made it now that anything that's quoted out of the Bible can be classed as hate hate speech, and because it's basically against homosexuals and abortion. feminism is a big driver of a lot of this stuff. It's sad in a way, but in another way, to me, it's just about, interesting to see all that's happening right before your eyes, and watching people just say, "Oh, well, it's global warming. It's got nothing to do with God's plan for the end of the world," and that'll go on. When it gets really bad, according to the Bible, they're going to curse God because the sun is going to make things so hot and dry and drought and no water, and I'm going to blame that on global warming. I'm not going to give credit to who actually is in charge of that. The thing is, a person is going to get hammered more and more and more if he even lets on that he believes in Jesus Christ and is a Christian and believes in the kingdom of God. That's the whole thing, eh? They don't consider that good news. They just consider it as being bullshit. And I could never figure out why God would say, if you will be saved, if you believe that I've done this and sent Jesus Christ into the world to die for the sins of the world. So, being I am a holy God, I cannot accept the breaking of my laws, and that has to be paid. Something has to be paid for. So, I watched a little blurb with it's Forrest Tucker, or I don't know, Tucker anyway, on YouTube, in interviewing John Voight. He's about 83 now, I think, but he was the original Midnight Cowboy guy, and a whole bunch of other hit movies, big movies. Anyway, he said that he went through a divorce with his wife, got on the bad side with his kids, and him weren't getting along, was affecting his business and acting career and whatever. And he said he was living in this little house, and he said he found himself on the floor, and just beside himself, and he just said out loud that this is too hard, and these things happening to him was too hard. And he said he heard a voice, an actual voice in his ear, say, "It's supposed to be hard. It has to be hard." And he said he heard that voice as clear as a bell. And he said it shook him right up. He said he realized, he had been a quasi-semi-Christian for a long time, but he said then that just nailed it for him. He said he realized then that he was known, and known by God. And he thought, oh man, what's going on here? He knows everything about me now. And he said, that changed everything. And he said he got so that he had a fear of God. Not a fear of being killed or hurt or anything like that, but a fear of offending God. Just really afraid to offend what he knew was God. And he laughed, and he just, told this story and how it changed everything for him. And he's still in Hollywood. He's still doing some acting, I think. but he's a big Trump supporter, that's for sure. He likes Trump. And in Hollywood, that's a pretty hard thing to do. So they're looking into this last election in Arizona, Georgia, I don't know, Nevada, I think. But in Arizona already, they have found lots of, he lost by 10,000 votes there, and in one deal they found 78,000 mail-in ballots that were counted that had never been sent out. And I don't know how many dead people they found had voted, and other abnormalities of all kinds, so that, it just proved that the election was crooked. He didn't lose, it was taken from him. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this. I can't understand what will come out of that. They take away, if they say he lost, and they prove that he lost, Biden lost, then he loses those electoral votes, electoral college votes. And if it goes to another one and they lose that, and whatever, he could end up the electoral college by him being eligible to be president instead of Biden. Then what happens? Huh. It's unbelievable what could happen, but it could happen. And so the Democrats are fighting like just tooth and nail to try to stop them from looking into this. And when you get people who just hate the idea that you're checking on something that looks and smells like crooked, and if you look into it, oh well, you can't look into that. Well, what kind of a deal is that? Man, I'll tell you. That's why I say that it's just right now. I kind of think most people should just accept what's happening, I guess, and say this is God's plan, and we're here to watch it happen. It may not happen in our lifetime. It takes these things that don't happen just overnight, but they can go fast too. But there's things that have to happen, like well, major things have to happen, and basically in Jerusalem has to happen there, and in Europe, and then the Antichrist. So that has to all go through yet. That has to all happen. Antichrist and mark of the beast, all this stuff, which is getting all ready to be happening because they're going to eliminate money. There's not going to be any cash, digital. You just have a number, about a 12-digit number or something like that, maybe more. And without that number, you don't do anything. You just do not. You have nothing. Nowhere, you can't even work and get it. You can't buy it. You can't sell anything. Ah, talk about diabolical crap. And I guess you could say, well, you could just want to live in the bush someplace or something, live off the land. I don't know how many people could do that. Yeah. Yeah. I guess a good example was we were in a heat dome of some kind. We were the hottest place on the planet. Oh, thanks, eh? You know, especially in the Okanagan area, we were like 108, maybe even a little higher. And I think it was a little higher than that in a couple places. And at that time, we were the warmest, hottest place on the planet. Hotter than Saudi Arabia, hotter than Thailand or anywhere like that, Mexico or whatever, because looked it up, even Las Vegas was, 26 degrees or something. Los Angeles was about 22 or 24. Here we were 44. And things did burn up, crops and fruit trees and whatever. It just boiled. Yeah, I've never seen that before. 87 years, never saw that. The I had a little setback with my cruising. These two cruises I got planned. A 14-day cruise in the Caribbean on the Holland America Line Volendam, which I wanted to go on because I liked that ship. I was on a sister ship, 1982 exactly. That was a good ship. Got canceled, and they put me into another ship. But basically 2 7-day back-to-back cruises instead of a 14-day cruise. That's that reduces it down. It's not as good a cruise at all. I'm just going back and forth to Fort Lauderdale. But I guess I took it. It's 14 days. So it made it, instead of going on the 25th of November, I've got to go on the 20th. That's 5 days earlier, and it was like 3 days or so between cruises. Now it's 8 days. So instead of flying back from Fort Lauderdale to Port Kelowna and then flying again to San Diego, I have booked 8 days at a hostel in San Diego, right on the ocean. And it's no more expensive, it's less expensive actually than flying. $37 a day. And I think it's just under $300 for 8 days. So I guess that's what I'm gonna do. Just fly from Fort Lauderdale, direct flight, I think it's around 5 hours or something, from Fort Lauderdale to San Diego. I'm gonna go down the whole east side of the United States. Then I'm gonna go right all the way across the southern part of the United States, from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, to San Diego on the Pacific coast, and then take another 7-day cruise down to Mexico, and back on the 19th of December, fly home on the 20th, 19th or 20th. Back on the 19th will be 7 in the morning, so I could fly home on the 19th. Because there's no use staying on San Diego then, because I've been there for eight days before that. So, yeah. But I've got to smarten up. I need some money now. I don't know. Gotta get cracking on. Can't spend like I've been doing. No, I got a new phone again today, another new phone. I'm like Jimmy Pattison. I'm looking for the best salesman. And I guess I'm looking for the best phone. Well, I think I got a pretty good phone this time. The last two were very good. This one's a little bigger, got a bigger battery, and I'm going to see how that actually works out. It looks like it's going to be maybe okay. It's made by Umadigi, Umigidi, Umadigi. They're a Chinese company. They're not that, they don't advertise that much, but they have a line of phones and watches, you know, digital watches and earbuds and stuff like that. But that's basically what they have. Yeah, we're carrying on at Desert Cove. I'm going to hang in there, I think, hopefully till the end of the year, and see how that goes. And then I'm going to cut it down to 1 or 2 days a week until something happens or whatever. Can't go anymore. I went and had a look at a care home. Basically, it's just I don't know what you call it. I guess they call it a care home. You have your own room, bedroom, and everything is supplied, 3 meals a day, and all that sort of stuff. I went and looked at it, and what it is, it's the oldest one in Vernon. It was built in 1964. This guy donated 2 acres right in the middle of town here to them. It's on the creek, and it's all built up, or not built up, but grown up with big trees and creek and gazebo. That's pretty nice. This is a 1 level, 48 unit, 50 unit. I think they have 50 people there. And it's all 1 level, the whole thing. And their claim to fame is that they have the best cooks going. Well, and the thing is, it's not fancy. It's down to earth thing. They have a large dining room thing, the tables, people all have their own table and whatever, and then on the other side of the room is basically a lounge area, quite a big lounge area. Then they have other deals all in the building there. It's all laid out, big long hallways in it, and but you got to go outside to change your mind. There's not enough room to change your mind in these bedrooms. I'd have to get a single bed and a chair. Maybe I could squeeze in my desk. I don't know. It's hard to say. And that'll be about it. Yeah, and I have my casket. I have in here is a bookshelf. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. There it is right there. There's my homemade casket. I'm using it for a bookshelf. And I told this carpenter contractor we had, I said, I want a casket made. Here's the plans. I give him the plans. No, I don't want to do that. I don't like doing that. It just makes me nervous to do that. If I did that, you'd just die right away or something. I said, well, whatever. I said, I'll most likely die sometime. But I said, I want you to make it. So I made it, and I got it here, and I guess I'm going to have to keep it somehow or do something. I don't know. Either that or I stay here. Now that's a decision to make, isn't it? I got 800 square feet here. I go over there, I'll have maybe 140. Yeah, I just, 140, 200 square feet or something. Mind you, it's no different. I got a small bedroom here, and but I got the living room, kitchen, and whatever, bathrooms. But I think that I've got to wait a little while to do that move there, because that is. I mentioned to Swan on Sunday. I said the difference is this is an apartment building where you live alone and do your own thing. Over there, you move into a home, not into a house. You move into a home where you've got to deal with humanity. You have to be eating with them 3 times a day and doing this, doing that, whatever. And the only time you don't is when you go to your room, watch TV for a while, and go to sleep, I guess. Well, makes me wonder, really makes me wonder. Well, I mean, everybody does that. Everybody goes through that wondering, when their time will be up, how it'll happen, what'll happen. My grandfather just went to sleep. He was, I think, 93. My dad broke his hip and was in the hospital, and he never woke up. After they operated on his hip, I guess he was, when I was up at the hospital, he was all beside himself. They had a terrible time to try to calm him down. And I finally got him calmed down and whatever, and I guess he did go to sleep. And when I phoned in the morning at 7 o'clock, they said, "Oh, he's sleeping, he's sleeping." Phoned back at 8 o'clock and said, "Oh, no, he's actually dead." So he died during the night. He was 83. I'm 87 already. My grandfather was 93. But compared to how my wife died, I can't, I would have never believed that she would go through something like that. She got a heart attack, was in the hospital, and then she came out of there with that. She came home again, and then she had a stroke, paralyzed her, what side? Left side, I guess it was. And then she had another heart attack, and then she got cancer. What next? But she ended up getting to be just nothing but skin and bones. Weighed 78 pounds, I believe. And this went on and on and on. She was locked into this room at this care home, and nobody could go for a long time. Nobody could visit her or anything. And finally, my daughter could go in and visit her, and they had it locked down. They had just a terrible. They didn't even have air conditioning in there. And it got hot in there. Man, oh man, I still to this day can't really understand why she suffered so bad. I know that she did things and said things that she shouldn't have said. moved out of our house, came and said to me when she walked out the door for the last time, said, "I hope you die." I thought, what the heck kind of a thing is that to say? We've been married for 46 years and then you say that? I couldn't believe it. And I know that God says if you say that to someone, he considers that the same as murder. Because you want it in your heart, you want the other person to die. So, I don't know. I've prayed not many times, but quite a few times that God would be merciful to her. I did that while she was still alive and suffering, and that he would forgive her because she was my wife for 46 years, and I asked that he would be merciful for and forgive her for that reason, and I think he will consider that. And she changed her will. We both had wills. Everything went to one or the other. She changed that now, so it just goes to the kids. Nothing goes to me. I kind of figured that was going to happen anyway. But, very vindictive. And just couldn't say enough bad things about me that unbelievable. So, got a dysfunctional family now that it's really dysfunctional. Grandson decided he's gay, and I said something about that I didn't agree with gays or didn't, like that gay people, that gays were, a problem, and they thought that was terrible, and I would say that about my grandson. The thing is, my daughter, who was his mother, became an instant advocate for homosexuality when he told her that he was gay. Instant advocate for homosexuality and abortion and LGBTQ, everything that goes with that. And just hard to believe. She was never brought up that way to believe that, but that's what she's done. She's gone full bore into all this stuff that basically God is against. You read the Bible, it's all against all those things that they're doing now. And he said that, but he said that would happen. And he said they would condemn themselves because they would develop what's called a reprobate mind, which means they have no remorse for anything they do. They're never sorry for anything. There's no way they would ask for forgiveness. And without forgiveness, they're going to condemn themselves. Now, what in the world is the good of doing that? Condemning yourself to destruction instead of believing that God is willing to give you eternal life in a new earth and a new heaven and a new everything that goes on forever in a body that's perfect, never needs anything. And no such thing as all the problems we have now. No sickness, no war or sickness or anything like that. And people will rebel against that. And it's hard to believe, but they will. Just hard to believe, but they will. every so often I actually comes over me that I'm, you know, really sorry for things I've done in my life. Not being, I don't know, not being careful enough with things. Oh, I don't see how I can make up for it now at my age. I mean, all I can do is ask God to be merciful to me, and I did get baptized when I was, I don't know, 85 or something, I guess I was. I got to figure out when that was. I got to remember that. I'm going to have to phone the guy that baptized me, see if he remembers when we did it. I want to keep that in mind. But there's a lot of things coming down the road. And it's all going to happen. You know, all this stuff's going to happen. It's kind of scary, actually. But I mean, it's not scary either because you know about it. It's not that you don't know. You know, you've been told. 37 minutes. Oh, let's talk again sometime.